Some would ask, now that the law defining membership in One Call has passed, what do we need to do to convince utilities to join? Other issues to be addressed legislatively certainly include positive response, requiring underground facilities to be locatable, and finally, some process of providing fair and effective enforcement for those who would compromise the protection of Mississippi's infrastructure and citizens.
I think the positive response is going to be great. I sure do. We have in the water industry, you get lots more emergencies than you do in some of the other cases, and they call in for a locate. They got people out of water, and if it's emergency relocate, they have to keep running back and forth to check. And sometimes it may be 10 or 15 miles they have to drive out in that system just to see if it's been located, and to have this positive response for them. Yeah. I can just see a big plus to it. Yeah. Cool. Even on just an ordinary locate, you know, you got the 48 hours that you got to give them, but you got a job you want done, and you call it in and you get positive response back that it's all been taken care of in 12, 14 hours. You go and do your job.
If the committee is to be successful, there must be the continued focus on education, consensus building, and the inclusion of the general public as a stakeholder.
We never have got on the enforcement side of it, but I still come back and say we got to educate everybody first. Then what you're going to do? You're going to have the people come up and demand the enforcement side of it.
It starts with a well-thought-out plan that can be measured as it's implemented. Inviting stakeholders to come to the table is important, but not everybody can or will. So the plan has to include taking the table to the stakeholders. Spreading the word means delivering the message through the MDPC website. It means utilizing Mississippi One Call Acts, the statewide damage prevention magazine. And it means reaching out through stakeholder meetings, from civic club presentations to the more traditional damage prevention coordinating council meetings. The pipeline industry works hard to ensure the safety of its employees, the excavating community, and the general public. Incidents like the disaster in Pennsylvania occur far too often.
Not too long ago, I got a phone call one night. Mark McCarver, who's our executive director of the Pipeline Safety Division, he called me and said that there was an issue over in Clark County, and didn't really get all the information at that point in time, and I was constantly being fed information. Of course, we had the issue over in Philadelphia. So there's always issues, and anytime, I love it when Mark calls me, but a lot of times when Mark calls me, it's about an issue, and it's about a serious issue that involves lives, involves people getting hurt. So I love to hear from him, but not on those occasions.
The causes for this destruction range from inadequate training to corroded pipe. Pipe corrosion can be caused by a number of reasons, but one is certainly the scarring of gas pipe by excavation. The pipe is compromised any time the protective coating is removed, and it can be removed by excavating equipment or even a shovel. The unprotected piece of pipe will fail, often resulting in catastrophe and tragedy.
There are any number of scenarios that can cause a gas line to be severed, pulled apart, pulled out of a coupling. Any of these things can happen. It's going to follow the path of least resistance. And there are so many instances where that path of least resistance has led to being underneath a house. A family come home, flip a light switch which provides a source of ignition, and you have a total catastrophe, and so many lives have been lost, and we don't want that happening in Mississippi.
You say, I'm not an excavator, and I don't work for a utility. Why would I care about this? That's a great question. You should care about this because what you think is important becomes important to everybody around you. Become involved in strengthening Mississippi's damage prevention program. If someone does work for you, make sure that a call has been made to Mississippi One Call for your protection. Ask your city or water system to support damage prevention by becoming a member of Mississippi One Call. It's not only the law, but more importantly, it's the right thing to do. Ask your legislator to support future proposals designed to keep you and your family safe. Imagine you knew this family in Pennsylvania. No doubt you would have been there for them. You'd have gone to the funeral. You would have visited the little girl. You would have prayed for her recovery. You wouldn't sleep well, wishing that you could have done something that would have protected that child. What would you be willing to do to protect your child?